Hey, I'm T and I'm part of the Anti-MLM community. If you don't know what MLM means, it is multi-level marketing. Company, scam, pyramid scheme, whatever you want to look at it is. Not a great opportunity. So a video I'm going to show is of Jessie Lee Ward, and she's talking like an anti-MLMer would talk, basically. And it's just funny because everything that came out of her mouth is so true. And so I'm going to play that clip for you, and then we'll talk about it in the end.
I was once in a cult.
Network
Marketing, just
a
like
network
you.
marketing cult.
You're in a cult. We'll get there in a minute.
Okay.
What I would like to talk about is how I was in the top 0.38%. I have 13 years experience. I was a leader. And here's the reason why I quit is when I realized it was such a cult was when I realized how much I was hurting people, which is what you're doing. I had a whole team of people, and all of them were broke. And all of them were trying. And all of them were leaving their innocent families to get on Zooms all the time to spend time with people like you. And I was screaming and shouting on live video and following every single thing that my upline told me to do. I basically became an exact duplicate of her because it's a cult.
Yes.
Dressed like her, walked like her, talked like her, cut my hair like her, dyed my hair like her, all of these things to sacrifice to hurt hundreds of people in my team who made no money. So how do you explain that?
Tell me how the person was hurt.
Because they made no money.
So
or they did not make a livable wage. These are not livable wages. You can't live off of $50 a month.
How were they hurt though?
They cannot live off of that. These people are leaving their jobs. These people are sacrificing their family, their dinner time.
Yes.
They don't have friendships anymore. You know, they're harassing all these people because they were following the lead that I was getting from people like you that are these big one percenters.
Well, here's what I would tell you. First of all, number one, everyone's paid fairly inside of this organization. Every single person. It's impossible for them to be unfairly paid based upon the sales that they bring and the organizations that they build and the productivity of those organizations. It's impossible.
He's going to be clever and use the word fairly paid, but honestly, the way that the business is structured at its core, it's setting people up for failure because you could work so hard, you could recruit 10 people, but you're at the very bottom. All you're doing is making the top person rich.
For somebody not to be fairly paid, that's number one. Number two, failure. When you think about failure, the average person in the United States that starts a small business spends $55,000 to start a small business. And where do they get that money? Friends, family, loans. Most of them don't have that savings in order to be able to do it. 50%.
I hate when they compare the two. A small business or joining an MLM. Yeah, joining an MLM may be cheaper, but honestly, if it's not comparable because in MLM, you are under a CEO. You are in a corporation. You're working for somebody. Starting your own business, yeah, it's a huge risk and maybe a lot of money and not knowing if it's going to be successful or not. But you're more likely to succeed in a small business than joining an MLM. They want you to think that it's your own business, but really it's not. You could get fired at any time. You have to sell certain products at a certain price. You have to market, like, you know, you're not in control. So I hate how they want to compare joining an MLM to starting your own small business because they're not the same.
None of those fail in the first year. Did they get their money back? That $55,000 that they invested? Nope. They don't. They go home, they go back to a job, they limp back, and they struggle. Here, a person joins for a couple $100. Okay? Get a little bit of product that they can probably consume.
What about all the stuff you've got in garages along that line?
Hold on. They get involved for a couple $100. They can most of the time use the products that they are promoting themselves. And if they decide to leave, they can send the products back and get their money back from the companies that they got their products from in the first place. So the only thing they have to risk is sweat equity. Really. That's the only thing. Now,
He's good. See how he's saying, oh, if you put money in your small business, you lose that money if you fail. But if you join my MLM and make me richer, then you can always send the products back. If you change your mind, you could get your money back. That's not always the case. In most MLMs, if you try to return, they make it difficult for you to even return your product in the first place. And then in most MLMs, when you send your product back, all they will do is give you store credit. So you have to send the product back. You don't get your money back. You just get a store credit. So is that getting your money back, sir? No. But be careful, because if you ask if you don't like the product, you could send it back. Ask like if you get your money back, because a lot of times if they ever answer your question, they'll say you get a happiness guarantee, which means you send your product back, you only get store credit. So him trying to compare throwing money into your own small business and losing all that money, or join an MLM and return the products if you don't like it and you could get your money back. That's not true. You lose out on that money and then you're left with a shitty ass product that doesn't do anything, in my opinion, allegedly. So again, let's just look over Prove-It's income disclosure statement. The median annual income for all promoters in 2022 was $10.59. So you're telling me that this is a great opportunity. I'm going to put $200 to $300 to start the company, hate the products, try to return the products, not to get my money back, but to get store credit. And if I decide to stay, I will make $10.59. And that does not include the product that you have to purchase to sell to people. So read this over, and anytime anyone's trying to sell you something, ask about the company, ask to see the income disclosure statement, because they never show it, never talk about it. So be careful, think logically before anyone tries to scam you.